Me.
No shit.
Hightailed it out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them! Go between them! Are you crazy?
Welcome to my home.
Let's see. Do I have the mic back? Oh my gosh. Yes, I do have the mic on. So good morning. I've had another heck of a morning. I fully planned. Oh man, it's like crazy. It's real dry here, so like everything's just like fine. So I tried to get the whole computer and everything set up in there. And when I went to plug in the internet, no internet this morning. So that room, oh man, I'm all messed up. So that room doesn't have internet, so I had to come back out here, hook everything back up, and do that this morning. So that's why I'm running late. And all right. So yeah, so that's what I have this morning. And man, this mustache is just ridiculous. All right. So, but anyway, I've got a lot of stuff going on, and one, I got to find another cable or something to get the internet from here to there. Because when I tried the Wi-Fi, it was absolutely horrible. But yeah, just hoping that I've got good sound today. I had to switch out the mic. Last week, I found out that the mic that I usually use for streaming was broken, and it was broken in the move. And then later on that week, I found out power supply from the Plex server that went, and it's just been a constant one thing after another, constantly going. Then the mail issue's been an issue. But I did finally get over to the post office. I set up the P.O. box, so that's linked up there. So if you guys want to send me anything, go ahead. You don't have to ever. But I did find out, so we have these Die Hard is a Christmas movie shirts. These are all sold out. They're trying to get more of these in, so this should be available probably well after Christmas. But I did do it is a Christmas movie 2, version 2 of this shirt, and that is live right now. So if you guys want to support in any other way, buying the shirts is always awesome. We love that. But like I said, I just did the shirts and did all that thing because it's the clothes I want to wear. So if I got to buy clothes anyway, I might as well do this. And then also over there we do have memberships, but it's just because I'll never try to sell you a purple mattress or any of those like not affiliate links or any of the other stuff like that. So we do this. Let's see, share that screen. And then these are always linked as well. All right, let's see. So this is the, it is a Christmas movie. It's Die Hard Christmas, ho, ho, ho. And I, took that ho, ho, ho right off the movie. So it's ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun, same lettering and everything. So that's what it is. That's a new Christmas one. It comes in 3 different colors, where this one only came in white. So you got black, blue, and not white. Desert dust is what it is. It's like a grayish white or beigeish white. So it comes in those colors. That's a new one. And that's it. Always love the support and appreciate you. We've got quite a few orders. Just this season, but I think anything you order now, you're definitely not going to get it by Christmas. But good morning, everybody. Let's see. Good morning, TJ. Good morning. Good Saturday morning. Good Saturday morning. And then you have your coffee. I missed my coffee this morning because I was trying to get this going. And let's see. Trying to get a heated discussion going with your hoodie. I agree, though. Yeah, I mean, I love the hoodie. And like when we go out about, because I've said before, my wife is a sports fan. She likes Ohio State. She grew up in Ohio. It's a whole thing. And she wears those hoodies out and about. And no matter where we are, somebody has something to say about it. And it's usually the positive, like, they do this whole bit that they do, I don't know. And where one person says something and then they repeat it back. I don't know. It's like a whole thing. And I don't pay attention. But the other day I was wearing this, and it was the first time ever that somebody like wanted to say something. And I thought it was her. I thought it was like somebody talking about her shirt or whatever. And no, it was me. And so they same thing. They disagreed, but then they laughed. And I was like, well, take the Christmas out of Home Alone. It's not Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, it's all the references are there. For me, it's there. And that's that. But we have some things to talk about, things I'm excited for. And like I said, hopefully next week I'll be in that room. That's the goal. I'm still trying to figure out how everything's going to fit. And I did have a spot for the computer, and I did have that all set up. I did work out of there the other day. I did make a video out of there the other day. But as you can see, there's still stuff on the pile on the floor. Those are all the components for the TV and everything that I have set up in there. I had got no room for them on the TV stand anymore because I went with the 36-inch CRT. So now those are there. So I'm looking for like an old-fashioned audio rack with the glass doors and something to fit the theme, put those in. But it's one of those things like either they're available and they're crazy expensive, and then you got to still go pick it up in another state, or they're the modern cheap ones that open shelving and glass. And I want the I don't even care. It's like the old put together MDF board, but it's like the stuff from the 80s and 90s that had like the stereo cabinets that people have in their homes. That's what I want. But yeah, good morning. Yeah, I got a whole video coming on about that because I have feelings about it, and I was thinking about doing it on the live stream and talking about it, but I was like, I do want to do a dedicated video because I have feelings. I'm still going to get it. I was very, very the whole thing from the beginning. It's very unfortunate. I think it, and I'm a huge fanboy of Imprint. I'm one to say that without anybody telling me that I'm a fanboy. But this time, I think they dropped the ball. I think they dropped the ball from the very beginning, and it is with like the thing where I was getting messages. Right, I made a video about it, getting excited for the thing, and then all day long through like over the course of the week, and then even when I went camping, people were like, it's sold out. It's not sold out. It's back in stock. It's sold out. And like, so there was that issue that it seemed like something was going, fishy going on. And maybe, there's been no word on it, but maybe there was people were trying to buy it with the bots that they try to do and then resell it on eBay. Because it was the thing is like, I don't know if you guys saw, but Home Depot was selling this R2D2 Christmas ornament. It's huge. It was like $300 and it worked. Like you could take the lights off of it and it moved and it did stuff. And so for $300 to get a life-size R2D2 that makes noise and does cool stuff was pretty legit. There's like over 100 of them on eBay right now. Almost all of them, you got to go pick it up, and they're asking for like $200 more than it costs brand new. So everyone rushed out. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like American corporate greed, or not corporate greed, but American greed, and people just trying to buy up all this stuff and like the most popular thing. So possibly it was that. We've had no word on it, but there's also been speculation that maybe Imprint themselves was releasing in batches, so it wouldn't have an issue. But it did create this like crazy FOMO thing. I know lots of people were talking about it, how they weren't going to get it, and then all of a sudden, they were seeing how it was sold out, and then a couple came back, and then they had to hurry up and get it, and so there was that. And then this, and I was like, I'm going to go into the whole thing, but I got an email saying that mine was shipped, and then a few days later, we got the email saying, no, we're changing it, and we're doing that, and then it's like not special anymore because they're doing the bare minimum of what a studio release does. And so you got this boutique label that was putting out something really awesome. And so, yeah, it's a whole thing. I got a video coming soon, like, no later than Monday for real. And so I know I've been putting stuff off. I haven't been making as much videos, but I've been trying to get this entire house back in order and trying to get things hooked up and working. And that's been just an ordeal. Like nothing has worked. I had old video game systems that I had taken the hard drives or the disk drives out because they no longer worked. But then I was able to, put all the games on a memory card and then get it to work that way. So they were basically all the backups and play the backups from the memory card. And like a lot of that doesn't work anymore. And I don't know if it's just the craziness and the elevation is something, being the dry static air, and then maybe something got shocked and just doesn't work now. But so much stuff doesn't work on top of everything that got broken. And one of those frustrating things. And then, like I said, the mail thing, I want to talk about this. So this came, super excited, but this is the second version. The first version is lost in Georgia somewhere, and I got a refund on it. And then I was able to get this taken care of, and no big deal. But then, like, I ordered Christmas gifts and stuff for my kid, taken to Virginia, had a whole deal with that. It was trying to track it down and figure it out, got refunded for that. Then the exact same item I got through Amazon, and it said it was delivered to my mailbox. Now my mailbox here, I could, you got to put a key in to get your mail. So either the mailman put it in the wrong box and somebody just kept it, or it just never got delivered at all. But it said it was delivered. It said it was delivered inside the mailbox, and then it's just not there. So then I finally got refunded on that. And then I had to reorder it, try to get it through eBay. So I was like, well, usually I don't have an issue with getting my stuff from eBay, and usually it's fine. So that's the thing. But yeah, man, the whole imprint thing, the mail thing, it's been the end of 2025 has been rough for me at least. But yeah, just recently Macaulay Culkin commented on why Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I watched DH during the holidays. Yeah, I watched Die Hard. I watch Die Hard all the time. I don't know. I didn't see what Macaulay Culkin said about it, but I know the usual argument. It's like one of my sister-in-law. Her argument is it doesn't have the feel-good family, good message at the end. But yeah, it does. It does. Like they were going through a divorce. They got together at the end. Like it's literally a feel-good movie. But if you take all the Christmas references out of it, like when am I going to watch Die Hard? There's so much Christmas references. I'm not going to watch it any other time of year. And it's Christmas just because you don't like it or whatever. Like, I mean, that's kind of the argument. But then I do find it funny that for years, Macaulay Culkin didn't really want to acknowledge Home Alone. And then he would. They would bring him out on like late night talk shows sometimes. And obviously he's getting paid for those interviews. And then he would talk about it. But there was like not really a hatred, but it just seemed like he didn't really want anything to do with it. And like, there had been times where, he openly, vocally said he didn't want to talk about it. And then I just watched an interview the other day where he has kids now, and he's married and does that whole thing, and he's now embracing it. And it's the looking at it through a parent's eyes, and like that was kind of cool. I like that whole thing about that because I was like, I grew up with it. I saw it in theaters. It's one of the very rare times I saw a movie in theaters where the entire it was super packed, and everyone was laughing at the same jokes at the same time, and it was just ridiculously loud. And I was a kid. I was like, I was back in 1990 when it came out. So yeah, I was like 8 or 9. Like, come on, it's a great time. And like, so that movie's been a part of my life forever. And so he's just now embracing it, and I totally get it. Like, it's a different animal working on it and doing that whole thing, but seeing it through a parent's eyes and enjoying that. But yeah, no, I missed the whole what he said about that. Hey, mate, hope you are fine. Hey, brother, I'm fine. I've just had, like I said, a rough year, and it's been the move. It's been just one thing after another, just constant. But getting back into the swing of things, and hopefully everything will be great. Let's see. The Halloween set looks so cool. That is a shame. Yeah, and that's the thing is there are so many creative people out there, and if somebody were to plaster mold, cast the pumpkin and, create something where you can put the movies in it, man, I would be super stoked to try to get one of those because it was a cool thing. And that was my point about the Halloween set is it just looks cool. And being part of a boutique label and putting out cool stuff and then going back to like what the standard, studio, special item is. It's no longer special. And then does it really command the price they're asking? No, it doesn't. So it's just like, oh man. I mean, obviously the studio that's going to put out a lot more copies, they're able to reduce the cost of it because they're able to sell a bunch more. And so the imprint always does about 1,500 copies for things. And this time they did 2,000, which that was a whole nother thing. They put out the initial 1,000. They didn't think they were going to sell 1,500 copies. And then it sold out within a couple of days, like a day or so. And then they were like, oh, guess what? We're just going to put out another 1,000, which made a lot of people mad. And I totally understand that as well. And even at that time, like I wasn't mad. I saw the frustration. I saw everything. I could see the other side of the argument, but it wasn't bothering me. Now I'm like, this is kind of a frustrating thing. The whole thing, yeah, is frustrating. And then like, there's that conversation, like you can get the pumpkin. Like I have you can kind of see it up there. The Halloween 2 pumpkin. I have that. That's cool, but I don't put the movies in. It's not a movie display, and it's one of those things like I like to display my collection. I like to have the cool things, and I also like to have. I mean, it's not. I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of bragging rights, but I like to have things that other people don't. Like that's why my collection stands out from somebody else's. Like it's like, cool, you got that, I got this, and like not even like rubbing it in people's faces, but it's like that's what we did. Like when I was a kid, you'd go to the comic book store, you'd go to video game store, you go to any like store that had the stuff that you loved. You have conversations with the people, you share your passion, back and forth, and then you talk about the cool things you have. And like, to a point, like, what is the point of collecting it if you can't show it off? And I do. I talk about it all the time. That I get original old vintage movie posters, cool stuff, and lately I've been texting Video Pro back and forth, and we've been sharing. Like he showed me, a couple of his vintage, or he showed me his vintage movie poster. Pretty cool. We had a conversation about that, and showed him a couple of mine, and we have a similar backstory. Even though he's a little bit older than me, like worked at video rental stores, we have the same passions, we have the same likes, and then even separate from movies, like we found that like we both like vintage stereos, and like that type of stuff. So it's a cool thing, and if you don't show it off, you don't have it. So it's frustrating. The whole imprint thing is frustrating. And I was like being a fanboy. I was like, I know, I'm not gonna hide it, and like, yeah, it sucks. The whole thing sucks. I opted to get the renewed imprint Halloween Steelbook with the 36 partial refund, ships in May. Yeah, same. But I was like, even then, like, it's because it was like, I think the email said 50 Australian dollars, like refunded. But like, yeah, it's like 36 bucks. I was like, dollars to dollars. Like, I was like, the Nightmare on Elm Street set, I think that was like 163 bucks or whatever in that range for all those movies in the steelbook in the library case, and there's a $36 refund. It's like, really? And I was like, I totally get that the big studio was able to probably pump out a lot more to reduce the cost, but at the same time, you're just like, it's still just a library case. So as much as I'm complaining, I'm in the same boat you are. Everyone. Yes. Oh, did I miss that? Did I miss everyone? But anyway, let's get that taken care of. And good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Yes. Sorry, I missed my coffee this morning. But anyway, let's see. Macaulay Culkin, Kevin, also doesn't have a driver's license, so it's no surprise we don't see eye to eye. Die Hard Christmas equals a Christmas movie. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I was like, nothing against it, but I was like, there are so many people that have that mentality. And the bigger thing for them is, one, they don't like the movie. Two, it's, it doesn't have that good, warm, fuzzy feeling. And then there's no way to connect to it. And I was like, I wasn't even an adult when I saw Die Hard, and I've loved it ever since. So like, I could connect to Home Alone, and because I was about, Macaulay Culkin, Kevin's age at the time, and so like there's that. But then like Die Hard is just cool, man. You can't, and it's a great Christmas movie, and I will die on that hill. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, and that's why I was like, I'm going to continue that theme. I have the it is a Christmas movie too. That's the title of these shirts. It is a Christmas movie, and yeah, we have the second one, so I'll be getting that as soon as possible. It'll be after Christmas, obviously, but I'll wear it. Macaulay Culkin literally called himself the godfather of Christmas movies in that interview. I'm sure Kevin is joking. Yeah, but I get it. But like his entire life since that movie, especially around Christmas time, like he had been dragged around like that. Like I just remember, I've seen him on late night talk shows. I've seen him like parade around. And then there was that YouTuber, the angry video game nerd, that guy. He had him come on and do like a couple videos, and he showed up as the pizza guy. And then in that whole thing, they're like, we're not going to talk about Home Alone at all. And so they didn't even bother to ask him any questions about Home Alone, because I guess he was kind of just sick and tired of it. And I get it, but it is like, it's such an amazing staple, like pop culture. It really is. And I would say the world, not just the United States, but I would say the world. Like it's a phenomenon. And it's probably one of the best Christmas movies. And I, as I complain about modern cinema all the time, I would say the last good, and there's decent movies, and there's been, like, I liked The Holdovers, but it's not a like phenomenal family movie. It's just, I think it's a well-made movie, and it's a different type of thing, and it's a drama. But like I think the last best, and I could be wrong on that a little bit, but I'm thinking it's The Grinch. Like early 2000s, Jim Carrey's The Grinch. It was probably the last greatest family Christmas movie. And everything after that, and there's several Christmas movies every single year. You have all those weird like Hallmark ones that are pretty much the same formula over and over and over again, but they're not that great. And then they have one that goes to theaters, and they have things that like they get pushed out there. There was anyway, there was one recently with it was called Noelle, where she was like she was the related to Santa Claus somehow, but then she becomes Santa Claus as a girl. I think that was the one. Anyway, it was fine, but those movies are very forgettable. They're not that great. It's like all those other ones. I think they're amazing. And I will die on the hill that Die Hard. It's a good movie. But yeah, I could see him saying that. And good morning, Video Pro. Good morning. I was just talking about you. But yeah, so yeah, I got The Mask. I'm gonna be watching that soon. And from what I hear, it is probably one of the greatest 4Ks of the year so far. Like it's easily in the top 5 to 10, probably is what I hear. And I did just watch Turtles 4K. I watched those. So Arrow Video is just knocking it out of the park this year. It's great releases and some stuff coming up. But the Turtles 4Ks, I know other people talked about it. I'm sure that you've heard the reviews about it. I'll talk about it too, because I got 2 copies. I got the 4K and the Blu-ray. So I'll show them off, talk about them. But man, look great. Tons of special features. And one thing I'm loving about Arrow Video is they don't always get all the actors and stuff back, but they try. And like a release like the Turtles had all 3 movies have tons of special features. And then there's alternate UK openings and versions of the movie and different things, because different rules in UK and how they cut things. And so yeah, it's cool that they included all that stuff. And big fan of everything Imprint does. And this, I think I mentioned it last Saturday that I was going to be watching this, another Arrow Video, and it is The Long Kiss Goodnight. I did watch it. This is a phenomenal looking 4K. I had finally upgraded to the Blu-ray last year, right before Christmas, because I knew I had it on VHS, but I couldn't find it. And I think it was put in storage because the plan for the move, and even after the move, I don't think I found it. So I ended up picking up the Blu-ray. I got it real cheap. Having this 4K, this is an amazing looking film on 4K. Love the movie anyway. Great Christmas movie, very underrated. I think because of this release, it's probably less underrated. But another one that I always thought of these 2 together. So Long Kiss Goodnight, I always thought of at Christmas time. But the other one was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. And I think it's a great Christmas movie, a great noir film. I mean, that right there, you can argue, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? Again, it takes place at Christmas. There's definitely a Santa Claus there. So come on, it's a Christmas movie. It's the same thing as Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State is a Christmas movie. You can't tell me it's not. The Christmas shopping, it takes place at Christmas time. There's a Santa Claus in the film too. Like, it's one of those. What was that? And I have this. I forget the name of the movie, but it's like something about Texas. It's this old horror slasher type movie, but I don't think it's a slasher per se. But it stars Linnea Quigley And in that movie, there's Santa Claus. It's in Texas, so it's at Christmas time. But you don't really think about it. And there's no snow, so it's another one. Like there are tons of Christmas movies. It's like saying like, you know, I don't know. I hate to be on my soapbox and be like, you know, these are Christmas movies, but you have like those horror movies like Black Christmas. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It's a Christmas movie, but there are people that are going to tell you it's not. Well, then when are you going to watch it? See, my wife, Christmas movie is Love Actually. I do like that movie. I really do. The movie puts me to sleep every time. I do like it though. Yeah, but I was like, I watch a lot of boring movies too. But I don't think that was boring. But I get it. If I got into it, I could see it falling asleep to it. Yeah, I do Love Actually. There's another one I picked up last year on DVD. I forget what it's called. Jack Black's in it. Maybe that's. Am I mixing up my movies? Yeah. No. I'm thinking of a different movie. Well, the one with Jack Black. There's a like Halloween movie with Jack Black. But yeah, this one is not. Yeah, I do like. I love Love Actually. I do like that film. Video Pro says today watching Elf. First time watch for me. Man, Elf is fun. Elf is a fun movie. I watched it when it first came out, and I've been watching it ever since. And the kids all love it. But when it came out, for me, it was kind of like a one and done. Like I thought it was good, but it wasn't like wanting to revisit it all the time. And then I had kids, and there was just no question about it. It's on every year. They love it. And then every year I fall in love with it again. So I do like that one. But it's one of those movies that I passed on for no reason. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got plenty of those. Plenty of movies that I've slept on, and usually it's for no reason. Sometimes I'm just digging my heels in. Long Kiss Goodnight is fantastically fun film. Great transfer from Arrow, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I agree, 100%. A fantastic film, an amazing transfer. I didn't even dive into the special features on this one, but I'm going to. Because I'm going to do this one's going to get a rewatch before Christmas. Before the Christmas tree comes down, I'm definitely rewatching it. Best movie with subway scenes. Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3, I think. There's that. Then you have subway scene in The Warriors. Then you have the subway scene in Turtles, the first one, when the Foot Clan, corners her in the subway, and then Raphael beats him up and takes her, to the lair. Those are great. Those are probably my top ones. But yeah, taking Pelham 1, 2, 3. I mean, most of the film takes place in the subway. There's that. But then you have, let's see, there's a couple heist movies I like. Then you have, what was it? Speed. That's an amazing subway scene. And then let's see. I mean, there's quite a few. I think those are probably some of my absolute favorites. And then I always did like, because I love Hellboy. I think that's great. So there's the scene they're in the subway and then they're fighting a monster for a bit, and then he comes back. I like that. I think it's more of a guilty pleasure. I mean, not that whole movie, but if I was to like that, pick the subway scene, I think it's a guilty pleasure, just because I love the movie. Let's see. Elf isn't my thing, and I mean, it's not for everybody. It really isn't. Like I said, when I first saw it, my oldest was like a baby at the time, I think. And I was just like, "This is great. This is fine. It's not a big deal." The thing is, I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell fan, and I've always said that he's good when he has an amazing supporting, crew, like the supporting actors, actresses, and that boost him up. When it's just like him by himself, like he's like the star, like I'm not really into it. But yeah, John C. Reilly, when they pair up together, I think they're fantastic. I think John C. Reilly carries that duo. And there's that. But I was like, I think Will Ferrell's fine, but I think he gets on my nerves, like in a lot of other things. Like he doesn't make me mad. I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. It's one of those. Like I don't really love Ben Stiller, but there's like a small handful of movies that I love that Ben Stiller's in. So there's that. But with Will Ferrell, I'm just like, it's not really my thing. But I do like Elf now, like a lot. Like I do, like I said, I fall in love with it again, and I think it's because my own children laughing at it. And like, it's just Morning 80s, your room is coming together very nicely. Very pleased with the mask. Has good atmosphere. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, the room is coming together. I mean, I still got stuff on the floor and still trying to figure everything out. I did get everything into that room, and then I was like a little overwhelmed because I pretty much didn't have room for things. And in the past, I had, boutique labels on different shelves and like organized together. And this, I wasn't going to be able to do it. But then I have such, big hallways, and, my stairway to go downstairs is huge. And it's actually like, you end up doing like a 180 degree to come upstairs. There's more stairs than I've ever had. But the stairways are really wide, and I was able to fit movie shelves on the walls in the stairways. And so I didn't have a dedicated space downstairs like I used to in the last place. But now I have a dedicated space, and so I have my family movies, animated, all the Disney stuff, and then the sci-fi and fantasy films, because those are a smaller section. Those are all together on one shelf over here. And over here, this entire shelf, you can't see it, but over here on the stairs is the comedy movies. So all my comedies are over there. And then in the room, I have all the boutiques, and then I have dramas, crime, and then all my action movies are out there. But I used to have it, and I organized it to be easier for me to do these videos. And so that was kind of a bad thing, because there was, I'd have movies over here, movies over there, and then I would double dip and I'd forget, and then I'd have like a Blu-ray copy, and then I had a 4K copy, and they'd be in two different areas. And so now I have all the 4K movies in alphabetical order if it's a studio release, and so then that way, and I have this whole pile. Hold on. This was the problem. So all these have 4Ks, except for the one, because I do plan on getting it. So Swordfish, I don't have yet, but I plan on getting the other video copy. But Lost in Space, The Cell, like these are movies, and I got these like a long time ago. Legends of the Fall, The Thing. So these were in the other room, Cobra, and so, I might just give these away to somebody. But Demolition Man, Deep Blue Sea. And then another one I plan on getting, but I haven't got yet, is the Daybreakers Umbrella set. That is something I need to get on sooner than later, because I don't want to miss out on it. I love this movie, and I really do want that 4K box set. And then Crimson Peak. I like this movie, but it seems like every time I try to give this away, because I feel like I shouldn't just donate this to Goodwill. I feel like I should give it to somebody that really wants it. They're like, I'm good at it. It's not for me. And I was like, I respect that. But I love this film, and so I respect it, but I don't see it. Stardust, I have this on HDVD. I've got the 4K. I think I need this, so I'm going to end up giving this one to my daughter for her room in her collection. Long Kiss Goodnight, I just upgraded. Titanic, I just upgraded. So I got the 4K. It was part of one of those Amazon Black Friday sales. So yeah, these things got to go. And part of it is having things organized a little bit better. And I'm able to do that. I got a lot more room now. But in the having a lot more room, like I don't think I have a lot more room, because I have a lot of pictures, and I have things that I still want to get framed and get hung up on the wall that I can't, because I don't have a ton of wall space like I did in the last place, because downstairs it's all open concept. And then in that room, it had to be all shelves. So I still have to get one more shelf to finish out that wall. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the TV and all that setup. I don't think I'm going to try putting more shelves on that wall, because I got to figure out something to do with the audio equipment and that. And the original plan was to have a sofa in there, and then have it more, a nicer studio than just wall-to-wall shelves. But that's what I'm working on. So yeah, it works out, but it's just taking a little while to come together. 80s, you're thinking of the Jack Black movie Holiday. Yes, and I have that on DVD, and I think it only is on DVD, but I enjoyed it. I really thought that was a fun film. I don't mean like it's like a date night type movie. It really is, but it's a good holiday film for sure. Yes, yeah, it was. Subway scenes, Mimic. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know why I didn't think of that one. And Ghost came to mind immediately. Yeah. Those are good ones for sure. Oh, Money Train. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's in my. I have all my holiday movies in one section, and so like, even though Halloween is a holiday, I technically count the holidays after Halloween. And it's just kind of the way we grew up, and like my mom wasn't really big into Halloween, so even though some years we celebrated, some years we didn't, like it wasn't a thing. And so like the holidays for me is just all those memories of Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and having all that time off of school and renting tapes and the movies I watched and that. So in my holiday section from Thanksgiving to New Year's, and I have a few movies that don't really count as a holiday, but there's snow on the ground. It's the tail end of the season. It's like right before spring. So even though the movie isn't a holiday movie, I stick them in the holiday section because that's about the time I'm going to be watching them anyway. And there's that. So I have a pretty good section. And every year I've done like a recommendation list. Like this year I was super busy at Halloween. I didn't do one for Halloween. I don't think I did. And then obviously this year I've been a little busy too. So I didn't do anything for Thanksgiving and I didn't do anything for Christmas yet. So instead of doing like hey, these are my top 10 Christmas movies or things I'm going to be watching this year, I think I'm just going to go over my entire holiday collection. Like these are my holiday movies and then talk about them and do that video. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's what I'm going to do this year. Because I think one, it'll be easier for me, but then show off all my holiday movies and things like Money Train. It doesn't really, I don't think get talked about a lot, but it's always been in my holiday collection. And the thing is, for years, I only had it on VHS. I got the Blu-ray a few years ago, and man, it's a holiday staple for sure. And I watch it a few times. Like I watch it like about now before Christmas, and then like right around New Year's. Because I think there's like a New Year's scene in it. But yeah, it's perfect Halloween movie for sure. Great subway scene too for sure. Oh, Money Train is a good answer. Yeah, Money Train's fantastic. Speed has a subway scene. Yeah, when he gets his head chopped off. Have you ever gotten any DVDs signed? Are there really good Blu-rays that are important for collectors? Are there any extras from bonus features that you would bring back? Well, the one that comes to mind, I mean, I'm sure if I were to like sit down and think about it, there'd probably be a ton that I want to bring back. But off the top of my head, the one that I would love to bring back is the Hellboy DVD. Has like a really long like background scenes, how they made it, kind of like documentary type thing, and it's only on the DVD, and so it never made it as a Blu-ray. But if you had the Blu-ray DVD copy, that obviously had it. But then when I upgraded to 4K, it comes with a Blu-ray, and then nothing. I don't have like that's just gone. And so that I would bring back, and that's just off the top of my head. I haven't gotten any DVDs signed, but I would. I definitely would. I have autographs, and I do collect autographs, but I have them usually 8x10s or framed or mini posters, and some of my absolute favorite, like all-time, like never. Oh, is the Miami? No, I moved it. Well, this one is signed. You can. It's hard to see. So Rico Browning was in The Creature from the Black Lagoon. He was there was two actors. One was on land, and then one was the diver in his underwater scenes. And so Rico Browning was an ex-Navy guy, an ex-Navy SEAL, I think. Maybe not SEAL, but he was an ex-Navy guy, an ex-Navy diver. And he worked on the set. And so that's his autograph, and I got it like right before he passed away. I got two of those. But Carrie Fisher, her autograph in the Princess Leia slave suit. That is one of my all-time favorite autographs. Prized possession. Tim Curry from Legend. Legend is probably my all-time favorite fantasy film, and Tim Curry's an amazing actor. I love Tim Curry. And so like I have that autograph, but I don't have any of the actual DVDs signed. but I totally would. I totally would. I just don't have it. And the thing is, are there any good Blu-rays that are important for collectors? In general, when I make recommendations, sure, but like everybody's going to have their own opinion about things and what's important to them. So, you know, there is a coolness factor on some of this stuff, and usually the coolness factor is also tied into limited. So, how many of these things are available? And there's that. But, you know, it also depends on the movie. Like some of my all-time favorite movies, you might not love, or you might think are okay, or absolutely hate. And so, because I think it's cool, and you can't deny, like maybe the packaging's cool, but then there's people that constantly in comments that are like, "Oh, it's just cardboard. Oh, it's just packaging. Oh, it's you just love the movie." Well, if you just love the movie, then get streaming. Like, who cares about physical media if you don't care about the actual stuff? And I feel that like, oh, and I was going to talk about this. And so we're going to talk about this today. As far as like out of print things goes, this is not a crazy expensive. Like on eBay, you can find it like $24 to $40. So it's still, you know, pricey for an old Blu-ray, but it's getting the 25th anniversary of the reissue. And I don't know if that's the artwork that they're showing, and we'll pull it up, but it's Cool Intentions. So I have the Blu-ray here. But this is something that, like, you know, if you're trying to collect movies, like if you have it, it's cool that I have it, and then I didn't have to get one of the ones off eBay and like or whatever, and then you know it's getting a reissue, and so like is this version cooler for you? And like so it's personal opinion on a lot of it. It comes down to a lot of it. So there's that. But if I tell you, I'm like, your copy of The Mask is horrible because you don't have the Arrow video version. I mean, it's kind of, again, it's like to each their own. Maybe you don't love this movie, or maybe you're perfectly fine with it. I mean, there's tons of movies in my collection that I don't see the need to upgrade to that 4K. I think my Blu-ray is just fine. Or I just recently purchased a Blu-ray, finally upgrading from like DVD or VHS, and I don't need to double dip and spend another bunch of money on a 4K disc. And so there's that too, even though I would like it. And so there's, maybe I will upgrade it eventually if there's a good sale. There's that conversation. But then I know there's quite a few in my collection that I'll probably never upgrade, and I'm perfectly fine with the Blu-ray. Matrix has great subway fight. Yeah, Matrix. Can't go wrong with that one. Yeah, that's a solid answer. I love the Taking Pelham 123. Today's first movie is Lethal Weapon. Nice. I still got to watch Lethal Weapon this year, so maybe that's something we'll knock out this weekend for sure. We've knocked out quite a few. Like since we've had the TV hooked up, and like that's the thing. I've been trying to get Christmas movies knocked out. Just to bring us in the spirit. So there's no snow on the ground. It snowed once since we were here, and then everyone's like, "Oh, it's kind of freak weather for this area." I'm like, I was looking forward to tons of snow. Like I've been in Virginia all this time, and now we're like here, and so I'm like, it's hard to get in the Christmas spirit without the snow, without being like 60 degrees outside. So I've been trying to watch the Christmas movies, but yeah, Taking Pelham 123 I think is absolutely fantastic, and I love both of them. I think they're both great, but the original with Walter Matthau, phenomenal. And I was like, I'm a sucker for 70s cinema too. So I was like, that also into the other question of like, what's important to collectors. Like if you don't love 70s cinema, and I recommend all those movies that you have to have, or you should have in your collection, then it's falling on deaf ears because you might not like it. I'll be a big fan. I love 70s cinema. Do you want analysis? Do you want analysis this 3? I'm not sure. I'm confused. I don't know. Maybe you said it right, and I'm just confused. With John McClane and Kevin McAllister been the ultimate holiday team up? It's for like a spoof, yeah. Like a commercial, yeah. Like a real movie, I think I would be out on. As a kid, though, I probably would have been all about it. A morbid curiosity as an adult, sure, I'd see that. I love both. So it could be. There's that fan theory too that Kevin grew up to be The old man in Saw, and I was just like, I don't like that. That's not for me. If I was like, wishful thinking or fan theories or all this stuff like that, that's for other people. It's not me. I don't have too many fan theories. I probably have a couple, but in general, it's not my thing. So yeah, the team up stuff too. Just like, sometimes. Totally for a commercial though. I think 4K restorations need to be better than Blu-ray. I dislike when they're a downgrade, like additional DNR or AI filtering and upscaling. Filmic Blu-ray with grain is much better. Oh, 100%. And I don't know where this came from, and like where they were like, oh, let's scrub all the grain, and like it became a thing. But when I growing up, when I first found 70s cinema, you can see even way back on the VHS the difference in the equipment that they used. And so 70s films have a look. And to this day, if I put in the 70s film, and my daughter has grown up with tons of 80s and 90s movies at her fingertips, and we don't have a ton of new stuff. So basically, I've got a lot of new movies, but like most of everything that I grew up with is what she's had her entire life. And so if I pop in a 70s film, her instinct's like, oh, this is old. And so you can see it, the difference in the film, the difference in the equipment that they use, and just has this whole look. And so them trying to do this 4Ks and take the older films and then do the AI scrubbing and adding all the DNR and all that stuff, and just getting it away. Like when I watched Turtles on 4K, I thought, I think it's a fantastic looking 4K set. Love all three. And the colors pop. There was film grain. Didn't look like there was any scrubbing. I thought it was amazing. But if they had went through and cleaned all that up, I would have been mad. I probably would have been frustrated. Like, and you did those sets, something that a movie that you really enjoy that I've seen my entire life, and I've watched it a ton. Like I could see people being frustrated with it, but I haven't had any of the major issues. So like people complain about True Lies. It's not a great 4K. It's not great. I get it. Like if you have all your settings amped up on your TV, it's going to be even more blown out, even more crazy. But I still watch the version. I have it on VHS and I have True Lies on 4K, and I still watch the 4K version. I have my TV set where I have all that extra bells and whistles turned off or super low, and I get a better experience out of it. And I still enjoy it for what it is. But if I because that was a hot button issue. There was people on Reddit that were like, "This is the worst thing ever. James Cameron should die." Blah blah blah. Going all that crazy talk over a film and a filmmaker. And then you have other people that on the other side of it going, "This is great. I love it. This is great," because like people don't like film grain. And I was like, I don't understand. That's the way it was recorded. Enjoy it for what it is. But I tried to figure out like why there was such a craziness over it, and a big part of it is we each have different TVs, we each have different settings, and that changes how each film is presented. So if I'm like, this is the very best, and I have a Sony OLED, which I do, and I have it set professionally calibrated, which I do, and then you have a budget TV, and not knocking your TV at all. I mean, get the best that you can get. I totally get it. I've been there myself. But you have a budget TV and you have all the bells and whistles turned on, you're going to get a drastically different picture than I am. And so I can tell you it's the very best, but then you can watch it and go, I don't think so. And it boils down to equipment at that point. And then also then that personal preference of film grain and quality. But I agree. It should look filmic. That's the way it was recorded. And not that I absolutely hate the 4K digital stuff in the modern cinema. I do prefer film, and so it's like goes back to like the older stuff. Like, and I know this is not really off topic, but a shift. There was that Disney Princess and the Frog was the very last film, to my knowledge, was the last film that they did 2D animation for, and that looks great. And people love Toy Story, And I don't think that looks great. At the time in the 90s, it was groundbreaking because the entire thing was CGI, and then the job opportunities and the things that, the things that opened up because of it. But watch that original Toy Story now, and then you watch any of the 2D animated stuff that wasn't like the B team artists, like the sequels, but other than those originals, blow it out of the water, and you have nostalgic blinders on for Toy Story. Like, you love the movie, I totally get it. It's a great movie. I'm not going to argue that, but the quality of that animation isn't anywhere near what it is today. So like it was groundbreaking. I get it, but comparing that to 2D animation I thought was always great, and I still do. And going back to that is no different than taking a modern film or a modern movie and recording it in film. I think you're going to get a better experience, especially if you transfer that to 4K and you don't have it sitting in a vault forever and then you have to do a restoration on it. Like, it's great. And if you've seen that with, and not everything was shot on film, but a good portion of the movie, The Hateful Eight, was shot on film. It looks absolutely amazing, and there's only a Blu-ray copy of it. There's no 4K. And it's amazing on my television. But I'm pretty sure, like, the interior shots might have been shot on a 4K digital camera or something like that. But it's notorious that he used film, and it looks amazing. And I was like, I get it. It's cost, expense. But then you have to be intentional about lighting, because when you use the digital stuff and the modern stuff, a lot of times everything is fixed in post, and that changes how the film looks or anything. Like, what was I just watching? I just picked up the House of the Dragon season 1 on 4K, and I was enjoying it, but the entire thing is gone. And maybe that was intentional, maybe it wasn't. Oh, no, sorry about that. Text message. But the whole thing is dark. The whole thing is very dark, and again, it's all digital, and the lighting was an afterthought. Where before, to do film and get a good scene, like, it has to be well planned out, well thought out. You'd have to have a good lighting team. I was like, this is a perfect example. My entire life, I thought the movie Legend, that whole forest scene, I thought that was a real forest until somebody informed me the entire thing was a movie set. The entire thing was a movie set, and it was done by one of the best lighting crews that they had. And so it's just the lighting is an intentional thing, and you don't get it anymore. It's all fix it in post. And so that's my biggest frustration with digital. And so, yeah, give me filmic, give me things shot on film, big fan. I recently got my childhood favorite on Blu-ray, Beethoven, and we're going to talk about that. But Beethoven has been around on Blu-ray, but it's an older Blu-ray, and this is saying it's a new 2K restoration. So I don't know if that Blu-ray, because I only have Beethoven on VHS, so I do need to upgrade. Just haven't got around to it. But that Blu-ray might have been one of those early Blu-rays that didn't get a good transfer, so that might be a thing. But we're getting a new 2K restoration on Beethoven. Beethoven Second, great. I haven't seen that one probably since I was a kid when it came out. Audible gasp when I saw them. Can't wait to rewatch. Yeah, looking forward to it. I watch Beethoven every now and again, usually in the background, because I said I only have on VHS. But yeah, I think that'll be a solid pickup for sure. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is my go-to. Watched 4 times already. Groundhog Day, Scrooge. Yes, we've watched all those so far. Normally, I try to save Scrooge for Christmas Eve, but as my daughter's getting older, she's turned 9. She's more interested in some more of the movies we have, and so what's available to her is like there's movies that just aren't like rated R Christmas movies or things like, she doesn't need to be watching, and not, there's definitely some rated R things I'd let her see, but like, I don't think she needs to watch Batman. I joked about it the other day, but I love that movie. I think it's great. But I was like, that might ruin the spirit of Christmas for her. I don't know. And so I was like, I'm going to hold off on that one. So we watched Scrooge instead, and Groundhog Day, and Christmas Vacation we probably watched a couple times already for sure. solid films. Trading Places, yes. And then that was one I had in a pile of Blu-rays. I had got the 4K a couple years ago, and then found the Blu-ray in the Christmas box. And so I gave her the Blu-ray. I was like, she wanted it, and I was like, I know you like the movie, but it is inappropriate. She's like, I know, but I love it. And so the other day, yesterday, I hooked up her. She has a surround sound in her room. She has the CRT television, VCR, the Blu-ray, the whole thing. She got the whole nine. And she got her own movie collection. Because out of all my kids, she's like me in a lot of ways, but especially with the movies. And so I hooked all her stuff up. She popped in Frozen, and she was watching the commentary on that. And then within 10 minutes, I started hearing Eddie Murphy's voice. And I was like, what are you watching? And she's watching the commentary for Trading Places at 9 years old. And she's been doing this for, I say, at least since she was 6. Commentaries, documentaries, she's super into it. And a lot of times, especially if she's seen the movie a lot, she won't just sit down and watch the movie. She'll try to get on the iPad or try to get in, other things while having it on in the background, kind of. But if there's a commentary going on, and it's just usually men, not always, but usually men talking about the film, and like I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, she was watching Trading Places commentary last night. Let's see. Ron Moore. Hey, welcome. Good morning. And Born to Be Rad. Hey, buddy. Hey, I know I haven't been around. I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube and live streams, and so I do got to catch up on stuff. But finally got everything hooked up, and we're going. So back in the swing of things. So I'll be watching more of your live streams too, brother. Hey, buddy, want to pop in and say hi? What's up? Hope you have a rad holiday. YouTube. And yeah, for sure. I was like, I don't know when you're next streaming, but I got to get back into this one of things. Die Hard 4K exists because it happened before Disney took over Fox. Yeah, and that was one of the things where I have I don't have it where I can grab it, but I have the Nakatomi Tower set, and so it had. It didn't have any of the newer movies, but it was a box set. It had a bunch of the Blu-rays, I think 1 through 4 Blu-rays, and then the Nakatomi Tower. And it's pretty big. It's like that. And I used to put it out at Christmas all the time, but now it's like on display in that room. And then that was one of those things where I was like, do I get the 4K? Do I not? I had it hot. I remember being at the Best Buy, and I was like, you know what? I love this movie. I got to have the 4K, and so we have that. But yeah, that was like. I agree. I think it only exists because it happened before Disney. Because there was a lot of things I know that were in the works and things that were completed on 4K that I'm pretty sure we still haven't got with that whole Fox merger. If James Stewart came back to life and wanted to act, would you cast him in the Fast movies or Oceans? In the Oceans movie, for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I mean. I thought James Stewart was great, so I was like, maybe he could do anything he wanted, but I just don't see him in a Fast and Furious movie. But he could definitely pull off an Oceans movie for sure. Yeah, I like that. But like as you say that, like I'm seeing it as like a 1950s crime drama noir where he is like the detective, and like it's still Ocean's 11. Like that's what I'm seeing. Like I'm not seeing modern day Ocean's 11. I'm seeing like a 1950s like crime noir. DVDs extras greater than 4K. Yeah, there's definitely quite a few. There's tons that I know that just haven't got there. And that was one of my things about and not this, but the motion menus. I'm pretty sure. Arrow's knocking it out with these, so I'm pretty sure this one has it. But like the Turtles had motion menus, and then I pop in something else, and it's just a static, boring screen. And I was like, it's a little thing. It's a minor thing, and like that goes back to that argument of like this is just cardboard. It's just paper and cardboard. Only thing that matters is the movie. On that same conversation, just that little touch of having a motion menu, it means the world to me. And so having the extras, I think I would rather, and like there's plenty of things I know I haven't upgraded yet because of that. I think the extras are greater than just having the 4K. I have a great TV. that up converts, and so I have that ability. But I still have CRT television. I have one right here. I've got one in that room. My daughter has one, and we watch stuff on the old CRT as well. And you can get the best possible picture out of the older format on these older televisions. And I know not everybody has one, but I do. And so like, because like that's the thing is like when I talk about that, I still collect VHS, I still collect DVDs actively. People give me a hard time about it, and not everybody, but like there's time. Like when I do the room tour, like somebody left a kind of a crappy comment, like, "Geez, all these waste of money VHS." And it's like, well, the amount of money that I've invested in, like most of those VHS were bought at 50 cents a pop, and so for over the course of the past decade, getting 400 plus VHS tapes, I've saved thousands of dollars if I was trying to get those, and not all of them. There's a good chunk of those movies that have never been put out on DVD or Blu-ray or better, and they're just stuck on that format. And so that's the other reason they have them. But if the ones that were available are to try to get everything, that's thousands of dollars that I've saved, and I can still enjoy the movie in a certain way. Because for me, it's never really been about the format. And I get it. If you only have a 4K television and that's all you have, yeah, I see it. You invested the money in it. You want to get the best possible picture, and so VHS doesn't make sense for you, but it makes sense for me. Yeah. So the same thing. DVDs. I think the extras are a little bit more important for me. Grumpy Old Men new movie calls. When they say should be Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, and Jeff Bridges. Denzel. Jeff Bridges and Denzel for sure. I like Adam Sandler. I like Jim Carrey. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't see it. And like both of them have done serious roles. And I just picked up a serious Jim Carrey movie. I haven't seen it yet. It's still wrapped in plastic. But I just picked up this Jim Carrey serious movie. And I know Adam Sandler's done serious roles. And so they can do that. But I just don't see it happening in a comedy role. So Jeff Bridges and Denzel both have done comedy, and they do it where it's not dry, but I think it would lean more into more of an homage of Grumpy Old Men as opposed to just a reimagining or a reboot or whatever. And so I would appreciate that more. And then speaking of that, Anaconda. Anaconda is now getting a reboot, and I like Anaconda. I think it's fun, but not every movie needs a reboot. I don't think most movies need a reboot, but especially if they're going to reboot something that failed, and maybe it had a good idea, maybe it has good bones, but the execution wasn't there. Reboot that, remake that, do that, and that's where I stand. But I really like the how they're handling this reboot for Anaconda. The entire movie is about them rebooting Anaconda and trying to make a movie, and then the snake dies. In the trailer, the snake that they have dies, and so then they got to look for a snake. And then it turns out to be the giant anaconda that's eating people. And I'm in. I'm totally in. Like, give me that. If you're going to reboot something like that, I think that's fun. But then don't overuse that formula like they've done so many times with like the snarky comedy and everything has to be a Marvel movie now, and everything has to be like a huge giant spectacle, and then also have that witty banter. And it's not always witty, and it's not always enjoyable. Like sometimes you just need a movie to breathe, to enjoy it, or scenes to breathe, and it doesn't seem to be that in my opinion. And yeah, I was like, give me this. This seems to be like a breath of fresh air, but don't overuse it. Do a commentary with Steve Martin in what movie? Little Shop of Horrors, for sure. I love Steve Martin. Plenty of movies I love. The House Sitter with Steve Martin, Goldie Hawn, My Blue Heaven with Rick Moranis. There's tons of Steve Martin movies I do. The Jerk, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I don't think you go wrong with those movies. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is actually a remake, but I didn't know until I got like the imprint Marlon Brando set. And so I forget the name of the movie, but it's called something completely different. But it is literally Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and it's not really funny. Like, so the Steve Martin one is funny, but yeah, it's it's interesting. So I loved. I think I thought it was great because I didn't know. I never knew it was a remake. But yeah, I think Little Shop of Horrors. Because I think he won. He played that Dennis character so awesome, and I would just love to hear what he had to say about it. And so that's a big one for me for sure. I hate haters. How can some people collect wrong? Oh, I get that all the time, man. I get you're collecting wrong, or just an opinion on a movie. Like I totally understand that we all don't see eye to eye. Like we're never going to have the exact. We can have a lot of movies that we like, but we're never going to have like the exact same favorites list. And so if I think something is a cult classic, or I think I like something and I recommend it, there's people that constantly tell me I'm wrong on my opinion, which I think is funny and laughable. Like I've got thick skin, so I can take it and I can handle it. But like, man, it's just like weird how people not only think your opinion's invalid, but their opinion's the only one that matters. So I'm just like, that's fine. It's fine. You do you. You do you. But yeah, it happens. It happens more often than you actually think. And so like just a simple like, hey man, these are some of my childhood favorites, and like people that just trash it. And I mean, I know that there's trolls on the internet. And there's people that get a kick out of like, being mean. I get that, but like, it doesn't bother me at all. But I do think it's funny. Let's see. Really old Blu-ray transfers weren't much better than DVD. Oh yeah, there was a bunch of films that needed better transfer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't have a negative opinion about Beethoven because I don't have the Blu-ray to know, but there is that constant conversation of like, why are we getting this reissue or re-release, and why are we not getting better stuff? And so there's a new 2K master, so I'm going to assume that the Beethoven one, maybe that it was an early Blu-ray, so maybe it wasn't that great. And there's a lot of that. And the same thing with DVD. There was a lot of early DVDs that didn't look that great, but on the older TVs, like an older CRT, you're probably not going to notice. But once you upgraded to a 1080p high definition TV back in the day, that's when people started to notice that these DVDs didn't look as good as other DVDs. And I have some in my collection, like Son-in-Law looks horrible. I can watch DVDs downstairs on my 4K television, and I totally get it. It's not that great. A 4K would be better, a Blu-ray would be better, but it's watchable and enjoy it. Like Dutch, I watch Dutch every year downstairs on and I have the DVD. I missed out on the Blu-ray. It's crazy expensive. I'm not going to pay that money to try to get it. Hopefully we get a re-release soon, or get 4K soon. But I'm happy with my DVD. Son-in-Law, it only looks good on my CRT televisions. If I try to watch it downstairs, it's still watchable, but man, is it fuzzy and like not really blurry, but it almost like seems like it's out of focus because it's not a great transfer. And it's one of those things that there's tons of those films, and I was like, yeah, I want everything to be restored. I want everything to be put out on a new format and given the love. But there's hundreds of thousands of movies, and it takes time. It takes time. If you watch any space battle, which one? Spaceballs. I like the space scenes, Spaceballs for sure. I'm kind of over all the new Disney Star Wars stuff. Like I don't care about that. It's like big spectacle stuff, and it's meant to be consumed and then forgotten. So it's a big spectacle thing, but like not like the original Star Wars. And I know this is beating a dead horse. Like everyone's had their opinion about this, and I know I've probably said it too. But those original movies, they've lasted. People still talk about them. People still collect stuff for them. It's more than nostalgia. They're amazing films. Like I love Star Wars, but my youngest daughter, and it's her all-time favorite movie ever, and she can like tell you stuff about it, things I didn't know about it, and she watches the commentary, she watches the documentaries. She's like loves Star Wars, so there's no nostalgia for her. She's new. She's only 9 years old, and she's been watching Star Wars since she was 2 years old on her own. Like, I watch Star Wars once a year. There was a good stretch between like her being 4 and 7 that she would watch Star Wars every day if she could. And there's were times where I would take her tapes away because I was just tired of listening to it. Like, and it was just not that I was just tired of it, but it was kind of ruining it for me. Like, I treated it like an event on a yearly basis. I would do the marathon. I would watch it, and I would get excited. I would put my phone away. I would do everything I could to not be distracted and just really enjoy it like an event. And she watched it so much that for 3 years, like I just kind of didn't. And so yeah, so I would probably pick Spaceballs for any of the space battles for sure. Return of the Jedi, best space battle for me, and it's and I'm not gonna argue. It's a great scene, but like again, those movies for me are meant to be big giant spectacle movies, meant to be consumed and then forgotten about. And if you love it and you rewatch it all the time, good. I'm glad you do, and I'm not arguing that. For me, it just kind of I don't have any of that like need to rewatch those movies. But you know, it's a big giant spectacle, so of course, yeah, I think it's a great scene. Last Boy Scout or I Come in Peace. Last Boy Scout. I love that movie. And that's another one. I think it's highly underrated. I do have to pick up the Blu-ray. I only have the DVD. There was like a Blu-ray that was put out that had 2 movies on it, and I think it was Last Man Standing and Last Boy Scout. And so yeah, I passed on that. But there's a British, I think it's a UK Blu-ray that I want to try to import. I do love that movie. Stargate needs a restoration. I do wonder who owns the rights. The film never looked good on home video from Laserdisc up. The last Blu-ray, Mortal Kombat, would be another film I would love. Mortal Kombat, I think would be great in a nice restoration. I have nostalgia for that one, and I agree with you. Stargate needs a nice restoration. Some love, maybe a Bluetooth label, putting out a nice big chunky box set, and putting some effort into the restoration. I think that would be a pretty solid go around. And it has such a fan base. I'm surprised it hasn't yet. Back in the day, it was such a big movie that there was a video game for it. There was a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo. It was the same game, but it was on both the video games consoles back in the 90s. Stargate was huge. It did the spin-off TV show. So yeah, it's got a huge fan base. I don't know why it hasn't had that love. But it's another one that like I watch on probably on a yearly basis, but I don't think it. I mean, it has a huge fan base, but it's one of those ones that like I don't think like the YouTube community. I don't think it gets talked about enough. Maybe that's the reason. Favorite car stunt. I like Gone in 60 Seconds when they drive through the window. There's that one. Then there's the jumper scene. I mean, it's CGI. It's fakey, but it's so I wouldn't call it a stunt. But I think it's my favorite scene is when in Jumper when they're getting the car to jump as they're driving. I think that's great. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Bullet, Steve McQueen. Like that's great. The whole great movie, and so like the stunts in there are great. But yeah, I think what comes to mind, my favorite is the driving through the glass when they steal that first car and they drive through the dealership window. Yeah, I think it's my favorite. It might not be the best, so it's not like I just think I love that scene. I think it's great. Next Terminator set in ancient China, where the giant abacus can predict the leaders of the new Skynet and kill them through time. I'd probably watch it, but I don't know if I need it. That's the thing. It's interesting thought. I would, I don't know, like I would not mind like maybe like a Terminator-esque movie, but like a time travel movie, killer robots in feudal Japan. I'd watch something like that for sure. My favorite Brandon Lee is The Crow, but I did used to watch Rapid Fire and Showdown in Little Tokyo. Those are great movies. Crow, and so that's one too. I like The Crow. I think The Crow is fantastic. I did not get the 4K. I didn't see a need to get it. I don't watch it that much. Probably watch The Crow every 3 to 5 years, maybe that. And I around the time it's odd too. around the time that I watched The Crow, for some reason, I watched New Jack City. So they don't really, I don't think they go hand in hand, but I might have seen them around the same time, or I don't know. There's for some reason I like it. I like them watching them together, even though they don't work together. But there's that. And so like The Crow, I think it's a fantastic movie. It's got a great story. It's got a tragic story behind it. But I just never needed to get the 4K. I mean, sure, if I find it for like $5 or something, I'm like at a thrift store or a used bookstore or something, yeah, I'd probably pick it up for sure. But yeah, I didn't need to rush out and spend like $30 on it. It's a good movie all around. WB and Netflix should make live action Looney Tunes. See, that's the thing, man. Yeah, Sam Elliott could be Yosemite Sam. I'm not going to argue there. But I don't care for many of the live action movies. I think my favorite live action, like they took from the animated stuff, and Looney Tunes have been doing live action for a while, where they've incorporated the cartoon and stuff. But like, when you talk about live action, like, I think the only one I liked, and I watched it with the kids, was the Cinderella one, because it was different. Everything else since then is kind of, it's like a cookie cutter carbon copy of the original. And so it's just like, what's the point? So all around, I'm kind of done with live actions. But I know the Looney Tunes ones are a little different. But at the same time, like, I don't know if that's like hammered out. I know that Paramount put in that hostile bid last minute. So like, I don't necessarily think that is it going to go through. Make Hans Gruber prequel. No, because give me a villain and and make him bad, like whatever. Like have him do the worst stuff. Fine, great. Don't give me the backstory, because then no matter what, you feel bad for him. You connect to that character, and then it changes everything. And so no, I don't want to know why. Because when you're writing a story and you're telling a story, the bad guy wakes up in the morning and they're doing whatever they have to do to get whatever they want done, because they think they're ultimately right. There's that. There's no hero's journey. They don't even see that they're pure evil sometimes. And so that's a great thing. And I want that. Giving me the backstory, giving me a prequel, even though I'd go watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. But don't give it to me. Don't give me that option, because once you see the prequel and you see the backstory, you see the sad, what turned him into Hans Gruber as we knew him. It humanizes the evil, bad character, and I don't want that. I never want that. The best making of documentary for a comedy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The only one that even comes to mind is like, I don't know if it's necessarily a documentary, but it was like background scenes and interviews. It was the Grinch, with Jim Carrey. That was probably the better one, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. Entrapment, not the best movie. Oh, I love Entrapment, but I would buy an upgraded scan. Someone mentioned Money Train. I'm also thinking of Bruce Almighty. Oh, that's a good one. I had that on HD. Any other film someone can think of with an ancient Blu-ray? Yeah, those are all great. They definitely huge deal. I didn't think like Money Train. Yeah, if there was an upgraded Money Train, I would buy that 100%. Yeah, I've been fine with my HD of Bruce Almighty. I haven't really clamored for a better version of it, but I mean, if there was a 4K that came out, but Entrapment, I love that movie. I know it doesn't get a lot of love, but yeah, I think it's great. I mean, but I'm a sucker for heist movies, and at the core of it, that's exactly what it is. As far as collecting is concerned, what we may like to watch, say, dig what you dig, and haters can hate. Oh yeah, I'm 100%, and I get that, but like, it's like. And I know I've been really slacking on responding to messages and stuff. I see a lot of them, because a lot of them do come across my phone. But super busy with his move, and I know that's all done. So like from now on, like to try to go back and try to catch up on all those comments. Like I still do if they pop up on my phone, but like it's harder because I get hundreds of messages every month. But moving forward, like I'm going to actively back into the swing of things and being able to respond. But yeah, it does kind of suck when like I'm in the middle of something and then like somebody wants to be a jerk or somebody wants to be hot. Like I said, like I got thick skin and it doesn't bother me, but it's just like you get a message and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to respond to that, and it's just like, oh, it doesn't need a response. Like, and the thing is like, I also feel like even if they're being serious, I feel like most of those people are just being crappy because that's what they like to do. That's their hobby. My hobby is to collect movies, and their hobby is to crap on my hobby. So that's the way I look at it. Remakes can be okay sometimes, but sometimes you don't remake a movie like Psycho or Lady Killers. Same with The Magnificent Seven. Just why? Don't get better than Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree. I was like, and the thing is, like, one of my favorite, and that's why it's like there's no definitive like no remakes ever, because I love Brewster's Millions and the one from the '80s with John Candy and Richard Pryor. Love that film, and that was the first one I ever saw. But there's like 6 or 7 of those movies, and the original Brewster's Millions goes back to the silent film era. So there was a silent film, then there was like several remakes, and then at one point there was like a gender swap back when it was still all black and white and before gender swaps were kind of a cool thing. And so the main character was a woman. And yeah, my favorite so far, and I haven't seen all of them, but so far my favorite is still the Richard Pryor and John Candy version. I love that film. But yeah, there's definitely movies that just don't need a remake. And I get, at the end of the day, most of it just seems like a cash grab. The studio audience is like, or the studios think that the audience liked the original, so let's just keep putting that out because there's no creativity anymore, especially as they're like trying to move us to this AI future, and they talk about it all the time. So it's just like, yeah, I'm not a fan. They're talking about AI actors and AI writing scripts, and all they're doing is stealing and borrowing from everything else. Like it's just, and it definitely is becoming derivative and horrible. When you take the human out of creativity, it's horrible. And it's the same thing as they've talked about like bringing back dead actors and using AI to like put them in film and do all that. Now you're programming them, but you're not getting what made them great actors. It's them. And you're never going to be able to do that, no matter what. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over all that stuff. Don't remake things. Don't remake anything. Just give us what it's have. Give us new stuff. That's what I want. As far as collecting is concerned, where is it? Let's see. Stallone said no to Oscar comedy. Who would you cast? I don't know. Oscar's easily in my top 25 favorite films of all time. I would have to, because like, I don't know. Who could pull that off though? Because like I don't know. For some reason, Michael Caine comes to mind, but like I don't think so. Like that's not who I want to cast. Like maybe I want to add him to the film, but I don't want him to be like I don't want him to be Oscar or not Oscar. Stallone's character, Snaps. I don't want him to be Snaps. Maybe James Gandolfini. That would be good. Because like people forget. Like obviously you have the Sopranos thing, but like people forget James Gandolfini could be funny. And yeah, that could definitely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. James Gandolfini for sure. I think 310 to Yuma. Oh yeah, so that's another example. I think it's a decent remake. You're right. True Grit was all right, but not better. Yeah, and I look at both the True Grit movies as 2 separate films. I don't like. I enjoy both of them, but I've never looked at that film, and I'm pretty sure I have both of them. If not, I definitely have one of them. I know that. But in the True Grit movies, yeah, I never looked at that as a remake. I kind of, even though it is, but like I just always enjoyed them as two separate films. I prefer the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds and the Thomas Crown Affair. I like. See, that's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen the original Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm gonna have to try to track that down and check that out. But I do own the original Thomas Crown Affair, and for some reason, I like the original better than the remake, and I don't know why. Like, I think the remake is good. Like, I don't dislike it with Pierce Brosnan there, but yeah, I think I like the original Thomas Crown Affair. I don't know why. But again, sucker for heist movies, and so I'm a big fan. But yeah, the original Gone in 60 Seconds. I'm gonna track that down because I not even like not even a vague memory of it. But I loved it. I loved the one with Nicolas Cage. Big fan. See, Pesci would have done good in True Lies as Tom Arnold. Yeah, he could have. Because then you take his Leo Getz character from Lethal Weapon, you tone that down a little bit, and it's perfect. Yeah, I would not argue. I would not argue. But I also like don't want to change that. Like I've never had that mentality of what if or this should change because like I always just grew up with like taking the movies at face value and this is what we have. And then it wasn't until like I started like disliking a lot of the modern cinema. I'm like, this was a bad cast, or this should have been better, or this. And so I started in my older age. I started doing that. But the only one that I've always had that right, and I forget that I should memorize it because I've said this statement many times. I should memorize his name, but in The Burbs, the heavyset character should have been played by John Candy. And like, I love The Burbs. I think it's fantastic. I don't want to change it in any way. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think it's a great cast. And I love Joe Dante. It's a perfect, I think, storm of everything. But I've always had that like in the back of my mind, like, what if John Candy was in the movie? And I mean, it would have fitted a time period. Like, yeah, I think it would have been fun. And so like that's the only one I've ever had that like, fantasy casting would be one of my words. And Unhinged. What's up, brother? Hey, 80s. Hey, Chad. Hey, brother. 80s movies. Favorite Dustin Hoffman supporting role. Hidden Views. Dustin Hoffman's had some great films. I mean, I would definitely say Rain Man. I kind of look at him as the main character too. Let's see. Smaller role for Dustin Hoffman. I mean, he did the voice acting in Kung Fu Panda, so I mean that could be one. I think it was great, man. But, I mean, my daughter watched that one a lot. Sleepers. Sleepers is good. Dustin Hoffman. Supporting character. Let's see. I'm still gotta watch Billy Gaffney. Gotta watch that one. Dick Tracy. He played Mumbles. I think that was a nice supporting character. I think that was good. When I was a kid, I was like, 'cause I didn't know what Dick. I mean, I knew Dick Tracy was a comic strip and stuff like back in the day, but like I wasn't familiar with it. And so like my first introduction to Dick Tracy and then seeing Mumbles for the first time. Yeah, that was a good one. Rain Man, again, I think fantastic. Believe it or not, I've never seen Tootsie. So, I mean, he was the main character in that one, but I've never seen Tootsie. So that's something I probably should see. And the original Straw Dogs. I saw the remake, but I've not seen the original. I didn't know he was in there. I'll check that out. And I did not like Midnight Cowboy. It's a well-made film. If you love the movie, good. It just wasn't for me. I tried. I really tried. I just loved it. But phenomenal actor in that. Phenomenal support. I mean, I guess it was the two main characters. But if you want to look at it like a supporting role, I would say it's good. Best DVD menu, hands down, Ghostbusters. I to this day that's the one that always comes to mind. It's got a little bit of motion going on, and music. I think it's in the interactive stuff. Yeah, Ghostbusters, that original DVD, I thought was fantastic. Best villain in a comedy. Because if you say that, and I immediately go to the Horn King from Black Cauldron, but that's not a comedy and it's animated, so that's the one I go to. What does the internet say about this? Oh yeah, I mean those were some good ones. I mean, yeah, Dark Helmet in Spaceballs is I don't know why that didn't come to mind. But yeah, the Judge Doom in Roger Rabbit I think is a great film for sure. Some people are saying Doctor Evil, Austin Powers. I like the Austin Powers films, but I'm not super crazy into them, and so I don't even think of that one. White Goodman in Dodgeball, fantastic villain in the comedy. I love Dodgeball. Yeah, I think that'd be it. I mean, you can go into all the animated ones too. There's quite a few. Let's see. Glad Die Hard 6 died. The reason that is sad though, Asia. Um, you don't have to die hard without Bruce Willis. I'm also kind of glad Underworld ended with no more sequels. Love Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, and I have all of the Underworld movies. I did just add it to my wish list, so I'm gonna try to pick up Underworld the box set probably after the holidays and stuff. So I do want that 4K. But I have Blood Wars and I think the first one. I have all of them, but I think those are the only two that I have on 4K. I think I think you can only get all of them on 4K through that box set, and I forgot about it. I thought it was all sold out, out of print, gone. And then as I was, I did my PO box, I set that up. And I was reactivating my wish list because I didn't want anything to get lost in the mail. I feel bad, and I saw that, so I'm gonna try to pick that up after the holidays. But yeah, Underworld, great. And I'm glad I agree. I love those films. And then, but it's also frustrating too. So I love those films. I love to share movies with my family and people. I love to share movies with people. And I love watching Underworld. I watched it with my daughter. She loves that type of stuff. And then she helped herself to the second one. And there's a pretty good graphic sex scene in there. And I just happened to be walking in the room. And I caught it. She didn't catch it. And I took it out. And I'm like, man, I was like, not that I'm a prude, but some of those movies did that help the story? And so I have no problem that first one. I thought the first one was great, and I let my daughter see that. And then I didn't even think about it because I'd seen the movie quite a few times before she was even born. And so it was one of those things I didn't think about. But yeah, glad they stopped. Midnight Cowboy is the one I would default to. yeah. I mean, he's a good he plays a good supporting role in that for sure. It's not a movie, but it is a good movie. It's a well-made movie. Is it worth seeing Hellboy 2 or the new remake? I was lukewarm on the first one. I heard bad things. I didn't like the remake, even though I still think I can. Because I didn't hate it because it's still the Hellboy world. But then there's a new remake, which 100% felt like a TV show. Like it felt like it was made for TV. It felt like everything about it felt like it was made for TV. And I didn't get much into it, maybe 10 minutes into it, and I just gave up. I was done with that newer remake. But they had one with the guy from Stranger Things, whatever his name is, David something. That one, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. There was some weird controversy with the film, and there's just that, not necessarily woke, but it was like that woke conversation, like people being mad for no reason. And then the first two, I love the first two. I love Guillermo del Toro. If you were lukewarm on the first one, see the second one. I guess the remake after that, I think it has a fan base. But they saw what Deadpool did, and so they went with hard R, and they leaned into that. And I think they tried to repeat what Deadpool did, and it flopped. I like the other one. I would love to see a third Guillermo del Toro Ron Perlman album. See what comedy movie remake? Let's see. What comedy movie would you make some mini golf holes from? I don't know. I'm not even sure exactly what you're asking, but the only thing that's coming to mind right now is Overboard with the mini golf scene. So if I was to make some mini golf thing, it would probably be that one. I may watch the 4K of Last Action Hero to see if I was wrong in cinema. I remember despising it. Terminator 2 was a great movie. It was also kind of a film you watch 5 times. Yeah, I like Terminator 2. And Last Action Hero is one of those ones that I put off for so long. Like I saw the trailer and I'm like, this isn't for me. And there was no real reason. I just kind of put it off. And then I finally saw it as an adult, and I like it. And I don't know if it was, again, as my taste changing things, as I'm just disliking the modern cinema with that. And so TJ sent me the Laserdisc. Fantastic. Love that film now. So yeah, I'd say give it a shot. Give it a shot. I don't know if you need to like hurry up and buy that 4K, but I'd definitely give it another shot. There's been plenty of movies that I didn't like 20 years ago that I think are fantastic now. And one of the ones, and I didn't not like it, but the one I talk about all the time, Happy Gilmore. I saw it when I was a kid when it came out, and I thought it was fine. And then I watched it like one at a time in between. But then like I watched it as an adult, and it's one of in my top 25 favorite comedies of all time. Easy. I think it's funny. I think it's fantastic. I think everything about it is wonderful. The sequel, I'm like, not for me. But that Happy Gilmore, yeah. And I changed my mind on it after 20-something years, maybe closer to 30. Great answers, fun interactive. What Blu-ray or 4K should Kino make next? Romeo's Bleeding or Shock to the System? I've taken both. But I'm pretty sure Shock to the System had an olive release or maybe a shout release. I swear I saw that somewhere because I was trying to get it. It was on my radar. But Romeo's Bleeding, I'd probably take that one for sure. And there's comedy that I would like to come out, and I'm probably gonna pick it up sooner than later because I just added it to my wish list. So I'm probably gonna pick it up, and I think it was like on the cheap end. It was like $7. Is that Romeo and Michelle, that high school reunion movie from the 90s? That's another one. When I was a kid, I saw it. I was like, I don't like this. It's not for me. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I want to watch it again because I don't know. Like I had that urge. I'm like, man, I just want some more 90s comedy, and so I think I'm gonna check it out. So That I would hope would come to like a new release, because I think that was an early Blu-ray, and so maybe it needs a new scan. I don't know, but I'd happily pick up that $7 Blu-ray for sure. WB Netflix buys Sony for a couple $1,000. And we have to have the Ghostbusters and Ghosts and new Scooby-Doo movies. I don't love the crossovers, man. I really don't. At some point, they could be fun. I don't mind the crossover, like when Scooby-Doo did like all the crossovers with the cartoon. Fine, totally fine. But like the live-action crossover movie, not for me. Crossover Scooby-Doo Ghostbusters, sure. Cartoon, animated cartoon. Make Godfather 4 or another Coppola movie, a different Coppola movie. Definitely, you could do another mob movie for sure, but I don't think I need Godfather 4. I've been meaning to revisit those. I only have them on VHS. It's been quite a few years since I've seen those, so like I don't know if I need the 4K. But it was one of those things. Like I grew up in an area in upstate New York where it was a lot of Italians, a lot of Italian heritage, and like everybody knew somebody or had some relative that was in the mob, and realistically nobody did. It was just like a thing that they all talked about. And so like mob movies were a huge part of my life. Godfather, but then Godfather 1, like it, great movies. I'm not saying they're not great movies. I own the VHS. I have them, but it was one of those ones that like I had a friend that was like in movies like I was. He was like super obsessed. Because he was so obsessed, I kind of like rushed off to the side. And like I was more into Casino and Goodfellas, and I thought those were phenomenal. And so those I've watched probably hundreds of times. Where I've probably seen all 3 Godfather films. I've probably seen maybe 3 or 4 times tops in like the past 30 years. So I'm going to revisit those soon. Reboot the Wizard. No, that's the one. Again, you're never going to recapture the magic. And then with modern video games, modern stuff, it's not going to be the same. And the fact that just that simple thing of now you got to write out the cell phone, that also takes me out of those types of films. Like you have to, because like you live in a modern age, like everyone's got cell phones, even kids have cell phones, and so like that solves 90% of the problem. And so your conflict is going with the phone. So now you have to like battery died, phone broke, and then run with that. But then everyone else has a cell phone, so it's just like. Yeah, I don't know. It takes me out of it 100%, and then I don't think you'll ever capture that magic again. And then that movie, which I love, was basically a commercial for Nintendo and Universal Studios, those 2 things combined. But if you actually go back and watch the deleted scenes for that film, it adds a ton of heart to the movie that I really feel that they should have left in there. Like it adds more to that backstory of the family the dynamics between the father and the oldest son, Kevin Slater, and then Kevin Slater and Fred Savage, because about the sister that died. There's more detail, more information about that. So it's not just kind of feeling like it's tacked on. It's like a more of a lighthearted adventure story. Like it kind of. I mean, obviously it's not, but it kind of feels that way. But when you add all that stuff, it adds a lot more meat to the movie. And I really I feel like I wish there was a version where all those deleted scenes are kind of in there. Like I think it adds that much more to the film. But yeah, no reboot. The first remake of Hellboy is okay. Yes, it says it's I own it, so it's like it's good but not great. The second one was horrible. I heard bad things. It was a streaming movie. It's like the closer you are to the comic, the worse movie it makes. I couldn't even get like a few minutes into that newer one. But yeah, that last one, the last remake, was not great, but I finished it and I owned it. Let's see. Love your content. Just heads up, your audio sounds like the teacher. The audio is bad again. This is a whole different mic. Let's see. Maybe it's not my wires, because I use the same mic and wire for my phone. Maybe it's my computer. That stuff. I'm not a fan though. Still like her in Hellboy, but the actor was no Ron Perlman. Yeah. David Harbour was the middle of the road choice at best, and makeup was worse than the other movies. Yeah, I 100%. Small Soldiers is getting a standard 4K release with slipcover in February, February 17th. The Steelbook edition went out of print very quickly. Yeah, Small Soldiers is a big fan favorite, and I mean, like there are a lot of kids that grew up with that movie that are at the age of buying stuff, and so yeah, I could see that one going for sure. I liked it. My daughter was really into it for a long time. I don't know if we're going to need the 4K. The Blu-ray's been fine, but I don't know if we're. I don't know if she's like still super into it. So I think maybe picking it up on sale if I have an opportunity. And then let's see, what do I have here? So I have some things I was excited for, and then probably going to wrap it up and then double check what's going on with the audio. The audio is horrible. Let's see. So we have. Show the screen. Let's see. All right, so some of the things I was excited for. So this one, first one we're talking about here. So Beethoven. Like I said, I only had this on VHS. It did have an early Blu-ray, so maybe it did need to get a review. But this one has a new 2K restoration from the Inner Positive, new audio commentary from the director, and new audio commentary from film historian. So a few new features and a new restoration. Definitely the version to pick up here. King of Aurora, they do great work. I don't have too memory. I don't think I have anything from King of Aurora that I'm like, it could have been better. This could have been better. The only thing I always with King of Aurora, they're bare bones. They do some special features now. I know the stuff's expensive to get people back and pay for these interviews and all that type of stuff, but they're doing what they're doing and enjoyable enough. So I'm glad it's coming out anyway. So that's one I would probably pick up easy. And then this one here. Huge fan of the Arrow video announcements that are coming out. Red Sonja, it's coming out in March 24th. So this is going to be a birthday present to myself. I got some pre-order already. Red Sonja, I love the 4K. I have the Studio Canal version. I don't know if they're going to be the same transfer, but I have the Studio Canal version. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good looking 4K, but I'm kind of a sucker for the Arrow video packaging. So yeah, there's that one. Let's see. 4K restoration from the camera negative. So I don't know if that's the original one, but we can see new, so maybe. HDR grading. Oh, so they did a different HDR grading. Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the film, and then all of the special features and stuff seems like everything that we had before. So then we have this, Salem's Lot. It's one that I tried to watch last Halloween, I think. And then I didn't watch it. I was going to watch that one and then the remake. And then, I don't know, there were people that loved this original film, and then some people were mad about the remake, and there's some like buzz about it. So I think I just kind of forgot about all of it. So I might pick up Salem's Lot. I know it's got a huge fan base. I like vampires. I might check it out. I still have not, even though it's a 70s film, and it also comes out in March. So I'm super stoked about those two. The birthday, I don't think I need that one. I think that's coming out in the UK only. And Black Sunday, I do have the imprint version, so I don't think I need this. But if you haven't checked it out, it's a great film from 1977. Then, Hard Boiled. Here it is. So this is one huge cult following, fan favorite, and then for a long time, anytime I would talk about movies that hadn't made it to Blu-ray yet, or vice versa, this would come up in the comments a lot. So this has already been put out on 4K, I think. It's been out for a little bit. So, but yeah, Arrow Videos put out their version. I'm not trying to pick this up, but I got to give it a watch because huge fan favorite. It gets mentioned in my comments a lot, and yeah, I'm interested. Let's see. This is another thing I'm excited for. Not necessarily I'm going to pick this up, but the fact that we're getting more TV shows put out on Blu-ray, and I don't think anybody's doing a better job of it than Warner Brothers. So unfortunately, if the Netflix thing goes through, we're probably not going to get this stuff. Sharing the screen. So yeah, Lucifer. When this first came out, I watched maybe the first season, and then it kind of fell off. So I didn't even realize that it kept going. But if you're a fan of this, it's coming out. You get the whole complete series, and there's nothing to hate on it. They're putting out physical media, they're putting out TV shows, and like I said, I don't think anybody's doing it better than Warner Brothers. So unfortunately, with the sale, I think that a lot of it's just going to stop. And then we talked about it because I mentioned it was the Cruel Intentions 25th anniversary reissue. So this is the conversation of like, people say like, why are we getting this again? Well, yeah, give me another version. Is this getting anything new? Is this just a straight reissue? Probably not. I don't need it. I have to Blu-ray, but if you don't have it, it's a 2K. Doesn't seem like there's anything new, so it's probably just the exact same transfer, same special features, different artwork. Because this is the artwork that I have. It's the artwork that I have on my copy. But yeah, I think it's a decent looking Blu-ray. I've got no reason to upgrade on that. And I'm not even mad that it's not 4K. It's fine. But it's a long out of print movie. There's a bunch of copies on eBay that you can pick up anywhere between $24 and $40. So that'll probably be the better version, especially the price on it now. I think it's $24, but it'll release it at a smaller price, and then you could always pick that up on sale as well. Let's see. Oh, this one, I'm not usually into these like docu movies, or especially the ones that have to do with music. But the Springsteen movie, I don't know. I saw the trailer for it. I'm kind of interested. So I might check that out. I don't think I need to get either of the 4K or the Blu-ray. I think they did a fantastic job on the 4K cover. A lot of times, we do the new stuff, we don't. But what else are you going to do with that? So I think that looks great. And like I said, I've seen the trailer a couple times. It's a movie I want to watch. But it's also something that I would probably catch on streaming. But the fact that it's coming out of Fox Studios, owned by Disney, and we're getting physical media, we're getting 4K and a Blu-ray. If you like the film, go ahead, pre-order it, get the movie, because the conversation is like, is physical media dying? It's changed. It's definitely changed over the years. I don't think it's dying, but if you love this stuff, support it. And yeah, it's just a soapbox thing, I guess. And the Running Man. So I love the Running Man. I love the original one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think you go wrong with that film. Great Saturday afternoon film for me. But this one, the remake, I'm probably going to check it out. Let's see. I don't think there's anything special with the cover here. But Glenn Powell stars with the Running Man. I don't know. When they announced this, I wasn't super into it. I did see the trailer. And it's different. It's different than the original. It's not a shot-for-shot remake. It's not in it's the same exact story. It's similar. So I think I'll check it out. I think that's why I'm interested in it. So yeah, that's one that I'm interested in. And this one comes out again in March. So another one I might try to pick up for my birthday. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Read the last few of these comments, and then check out and see. I guess my audio wasn't that good again. And that'd be unfortunate if it is. Arrow's doing your own transfer or importing it because that makes a difference. The thing is, like, if it's a new transfer, it does make a difference because there's like each film, you know, it might be a small uptake, but they did the grading, so they've adjusted the HDR, so it's going to have a different look to it. That's the issue. If the transfer was older, like the original, like Blu-ray came out, and you know it's finally coming out, no, I don't think it makes a huge difference as long as it's a new transfer. But there's been tons and tons of videos of these 4Ks have the worst transfers, and there's different opinions about certain movies, and it's how it was handled. And so generally, I haven't had an issue with any of my Arrow videos, movies that they've done the transfer on, but there have been some studio releases that the transfer hasn't been that great. I hope they rebalance the colors to be more theatrical accurate. And that's the thing too, is it could be. But then with the HDR, it enhances your black levels and enhances, you know, things that weren't. It's not the way the film was shown in theaters. It's not the way the film was recorded. And so that constant conversation of, like, you know, trying to preserve films and how the director and how the people involved in film, like, intended it. You know, once you add stuff like that to enhance it, the people usually involved in creating a film aren't the ones involved in changing the colors or grading it differently or, you know, enhancing it. So yeah, I kind of doubt it, but I mean, it'd be nice if it was. Is it going to be like Studio Canal approved color filming? The Flash Gordon and Arrow simply imports the transfers. Red saying, yeah, probably. I don't really assume it. Welcome to Derry, season 1. I know I did see it, but I kind of skipped over it. You are right. Was just announced too. Yeah, I gotta check those out. Because in the It movie, the new remake of the It movies, I watched the 2, but I don't think I like revisited them after that. I might have to revisit them soon. I know, like, with 1, my daughter's not gonna watch them. I don't want her to watch them, and then my wife isn't into scary movies, and so yeah, it's one that I don't even think about that often. But I have them both, so yeah, I'm gonna revisit that and then probably check out the show. Merry Christmas, 80s. Merry Christmas, chat. Time to get movies. My movies are on. Oh yeah, I know I've been going long enough. Thanks for hanging out, brother, for sure. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And yeah, I'm going to end this right now. Beethoven's Second is great. Yeah, it's one I got to revisit for sure. And with that, guys, again, Merry Christmas, and remember to watch a movie today. I'll catch you guys next time.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, don't give me a cat. That's mine.